Hell yeah. Now that's the intro I like to hear. Fly Away has been my intro song of choice since 2014. That's 7 years now. Honestly, it's crazy to think that I've been making videos for this long, and I'm just now starting to do it on a somewhat regular basis. But recently as in last year, I almost had to get rid of the Fly Away song. Moving into 2021, I kind of wanted to take things somewhat seriously, and I knew one of the first things I needed to do, one of my first steps, was to get rid of the copyrighted content in my intro and branding. Of course, things like, shit posts, memes, gameplay videos, all of those have copyrighted things in them, but those are under kind of a different category. They don't really count. No, I wanted the ZS brand, logo, images, music to be 100% mine. Something that I can own and, call mine. And to do that, I needed to do two things. One, I needed to replace the wings, because I just Google searched wings and then went to images and slightly modified them. Not exactly legal. And two, I needed to either replace the Fly Away song, or find a way to get rights to it. Now, we all know what happened to the wings. Those are just gone now. And not because I didn't want them to be there. Honestly, I didn't finish them in time for 2021. More on that later, but everything ended up working out pretty well because now we have the new special version of the intro, the Stardust version. That's what I've been calling it. The one where the letters are separated and there's little star twinkles everywhere. It's the Stardust version. I think it looks pretty cool. So as for the music, that's a whole nother story that we're about to go into. That's today's video. Like I said, two options. Find a replacement, or get the rights to it. So, if you don't know, the Fly Away song is actually from an anime called Panty and Stocking. Quite an adult anime, I will say, so if you're younger, maybe don't check it out. Or do, I'm not gonna stop you. Either way, it's not the show's theme song, but god, it might as well have been, because honestly, if you look up Panty and Stocking on, YouTube, all of the montages are probably gonna have this song in it. So I figured personally, I'd have to change the song. I didn't really think there was a way that I was gonna be able to get rights to it, and I kind of accepted that. But I was like, you know what? I talked to some friends. It's been pretty iconic to the channel to have that, so why not? Let's go down the rabbit hole and try to figure it out. So the first thing I did was search Fly Away Panty and Stocking on Google, and the wiki page came up. They have a wiki. Of course they do, everything does. This let me know who made the song, and that was Teddy Lloyd. And I didn't really find a way to contact him. Honestly, I didn't think that would work anyways, because I'm sure the record label owns the song and not specifically him. But that's not all I found. It also gave me info on how the song was made, and that is that Teddy Lloyd actually used samples from voice tracks from an audio library. Quick side note, for those of you who don't know what an audio library is, essentially it's a collection of sounds pre-recorded that anybody can buy and then use legally in their projects. That way you don't have to actually go out and pay actors to record voice lines or find a bunch of instruments to hit different notes on and then put it into the computer. You can just buy one big pack of pre-recorded sounds and just use them as you wish. So then it clicked, if Teddy Lloyd purchased these voice samples from an audio library, that means I could potentially purchase the same audio library and have the same rights to use Fly Away as he did. Now, I had no idea how expensive this was going to be, where I was going to find it, and honestly, if I could even find the pack anymore. To be fair, this song came out in 2010. I don't even know if the production house would still be alive at this point. They could have undergone bankruptcy for all I know. But I did have one clue to go off of. Vocal Forge. So on the wiki, it says that Vocal Forge is a program with a large library of voice samples. Now that sounds exactly like the same thing I was just talking about, but I assure you that it's not. This did not give me any reassurance whatsoever, because the way that it's worded basically told me that this was a computer program that had a library of samples in it when you bought the computer program. So it was also, this computer program's probably from the early 2000s, which means, one, I almost guarantee I won't be able to find it, and two, it may not even work on the computer, even if I do find a torrent file somewhere, and honestly, the legality of finding a torrent file for a voice library that doesn't exist anymore. Oh, I don't even want to step into the legality of that. But I pressed forward, and I keep looking into things, and I found out that Vocal Forge, the computer program, did get discontinued. It ceases to exist. But in its place, they did release the vocal samples in its own audio library. So we can cut that whole thing I just said out of the equation, because now I know that they did make an audio library of it. Thank God. I know this is starting to get a little crazy, but I'm walking you through the whole process of me trying to figure out if I could keep Fly Away or not. So get ready, there's still more. So I thought, perfect, okay, now I just have to find out where to purchase this audio library, if I still can. I also have to find out how much it costs, and I need to make sure that the Fly Away samples are actually on it. Because if we're dealing with something this old, then there's a chance that when they released it from the computer program to the audio library version, there's stuff that happens legally all the time. Sometimes games will get released and they have to change things in the game because at the time they had a deal worked out with like copyright people, and and then now it's like, well, the deal's up, but they want to re-release the game, so they gotta change some stuff. So I didn't know if the Fly Away samples would even be in the library, so that's a good thing to check before I buy it, So after scouring through several different websites, I ended up finding a site with Vocal Forge, the audio library. It specifically said it in the description, it is not the program, it's the library. And that wasn't super helpful, because I didn't know what was on it, and it didn't have really any other information about it. So I found another website that had it on it. And then this website also didn't tell me what was on it, but it did have a sample pack that I could listen to. So I downloaded the sample pack, and I listened to a couple of the samples from the singers, and I did hear one track that sounded like the exact same singer as Fly Away. And that was very reassuring to me. It didn't necessarily mean Fly Away, the samples were on the audio library, but it did mean that I was definitely in the right place. So then I had to find a third website, and that website actually did have a PDF of all of the tracks that were recorded in the library. Thank you, Jesus. So I opened the PDF, hit Control F, type Fly Away in, and there it is. Live Forever by Jax. That is the official title of that sample of recordings, and Jax is the singer. At least the name that they go by. I don't know if their name's actually Jax or not. So perfect, right? Now I know that the samples are there. I now have 3 sites that I can buy it off of, and now all I gotta do is purchase it. Yeah, there's another problem. At the time it was $70 to purchase this. Now, I'm not going to say that that's a bad deal, because you're getting far more than just Fly Away. You're getting, like, a huge library of stuff to use and choose from, but I only needed the Fly Away portion. And honestly, I was very tempted to try to message one of the sites, or all 3, and just ask if I could purchase Fly Away separately, but I'm sure that there's other legal issues there, so I did what any sane college student at the time would do. I just put it off. I was in college. I had stuff to do. We were filming constantly. As you can tell on YouTube, I didn't even post many things at that point to YouTube because, man, we had a lot to do. And it was stressful. So I waited a few weeks. I came back, and it's a good thing I came back when I did, because there was actually a sale. But not on Vocal Forge, because we have to make this more complicated. Vocal Factory. So Vocal Factory is another audio library from the same people, and it's actually a compilation library, which features Vocal Forge, Vocal Foundry, and, Vocal India. Which means I can legally now use this clip. Isn't that just wonderful? Man, I'm so happy that I purchased this. So yeah, I bought the big boy pack, and you would think, oh, well, it's probably more expensive because, I mean, even with it on sale, it's 3 of them together. Yeah, it was like 20 bucks. Thank God I waited, honestly. I was worried for nothing. I just needed to wait for the sale. But my job is not done yet. Just because I bought the sample does not mean that I can just leave the intro the way it is. Because while me and Teddy Lloyd might share the same rights to the vocal sample, I do not own the rights to the song itself. And all of the dubs and wubs in the background and the way that they edited it, yeah, I don't own that. I still can't legally use that. They've obviously never, like, copyrighted any of my videos before. I don't think they really care. But, yeah. So, I experimented with some stings and some sound effects and whatnot, and, ultimately, as you know, it just ended up being the flyaway voice line with kind of an echo and repeat effect, and now it sounds like this. Honestly, I think it looks and sounds pretty good. And you would think that the ring animation and all of that stuff is the same as it previously was, but no, I actually went back through those old After Effects files and remade everything in 4K. So even though it won't display on the YouTube video, obviously, I don't have any 4K equipment, by the time I do hit 4K, my intro will just be 4K, so that's nice. I am not done yet, though, with my intro. I do want to evolve it over time. Honestly, I wouldn't mind adding a musical sting to it, kind of like it was beforehand with the wings and everything. I just didn't find a combination that looked and sounded good before 2021, and that's when I really wanted to hit the mark and decide to start posting somewhat regularly. But in the future, probably 2022, we might try a new version of the intro out, who knows. And to be quite honest, if you're interested in helping out with that, I welcome it. You know, if you would like to come to me and offer some artistic services of musics and or art, go for it. Please, though, do understand that if I do, like, turn you down or, you know, things just don't end up working out, it's nothing personal. It's just, this is my channel, this is the thing that will go in front of almost all of my videos, and I just want to make sure it's, you know, perfect, you know? Also, I just may want a different style than what you're willing to offer, and that's okay, we can have different styles. That's it for this story, though. Thank you for joining me on this absolutely bonkers ride. Even though I summed up everything as nicely as I probably could, this happened over, like, the span of a few months. All the decision-making and planning and research and figuring it out, and wow, this took quite a while for me to figure out. Thank you for watching the video, though. I do appreciate it, and if you got questions, just throw them bad boys down in the comments. I'll probably respond to them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Here's to several more years of me making mediocre content and hearing those 2 epic words at the beginning of each video. I'll see you guys later.